Greetings, everyone. I am Lotus Prince.
And I'm VyseTheBold.
And we are going to give you a very special treat that most Let's Players really can't show you, at least not legally. No one has this game, that's why. We are going to play one of the rarest game I've ever played.
Yeah, it is the Hideo Kojima classic, Snatcher.
And it's the best version, too. It's the American Sega CD version.
There is actually only an American Sega CD version.
Oh, really?
Never came out in Japan, and it's the best version.
Yeah, now why is it the best version?
It's the best version because there are later versions of the game, like it was re-released, but there was a PlayStation version, for instance, but it had 3D graphics and 3D rendered cutscenes, and they don't look very good, whereas all the cutscenes in this are pixel art and beautiful, lavish pixel art, and earlier versions don't have as many colors, and also it has the ending, which the original version of Snatcher on the MSX computer actually only had half of the story, so... in Japan, the whole story was released on the PC Engine or the TurboGrafx CD. However, the Sega CD version has Justifier support, which is the light gun, and it looks better.
Yeah, it's just overall a better version of the game, and it's fully voice acted, and in a really strange twist of fate, this is a game that came out in the 90s, where not only does the voice acting not suck, it's actually really good.
Yeah, it's very effective, and it's a great game. It's a lot of fun to play, especially for fans of Hideo Kojima games and Metal Gear and all that.
Yeah, speaking of which, you're going to notice some references to the Metal Gear universe in this game, and that is intentional. As far as I know, I think you said the same, all Hideo Kojima games are in the same universe.
Actually, kind of all Konami games, sort of, because there are... Konami games are historically self-referential. There's a lot of references to other Konami games in Konami games. It's just always the way they are.
Now, one thing you should be aware of before we start playing is that, and if you saw my Corpse Party Book of Shadows Let's Play, then this is going to be repeated information, but this is a visual novel game. This is not the kind of game where you're waiting for the dialogue to end so we can get to the gameplay. That is the gameplay. Think of it kind of like Phoenix Wright. The gameplay is making dialogue decisions or choosing where to go, who to talk to. The real meat of the game is watching the conversations and the plot play out. That's the stuff you actually want to see.
Yeah, you play it for the story. I mean, there's not much different about it than like a movie, let's say. That's why this is great for a Let's Play, because basically if we go through all the text options, it's very much just like a movie anyway.
Yeah, it's an interactive experience, but what's cool is that what does separate it from a movie is that it's not going to play the same exact way every time. Obviously, the plot will, but you can go where you want to talk to who you want when you want. It's just a matter of having to talk to the right person in order to get the story moving on.
Plus, there are some cool hidden things in there, hidden conversations that are pretty fun if you are tenacious enough.
Especially because it's a Kojima game and he loves Easter eggs.
Yeah. And there is something that I did want to mention. It is slightly censored. So, I mean, whether that is part of, maybe not why you would think this is one of the better versions, but to me, I could do without it. They made one of the girls older, so the main character would seem less pervy.
Yeah, I think she went from, 16 to 18?
Yeah.
And by the way, that was it. There's no changes in appearance or anything. It's just by the way, she's 18 years old, and that's it. It's a throwaway comment, so that's the censorship. So you're really seeing the full game anyway, and now you know the difference, so whatever.
I think there was also some pervy things you could do to each girl, kind of like in the pseudo-sequel. There's a pseudo-sequel called Police Knots that we might actually do at some point. That would be
interesting, yes.
But in that, you could basically do bad things to girls.
Kojima's a creep, in case you haven't noticed. You could ogle Meryl in Metal Gear Solid 1, you could ogle May in Metal Gear Solid VR mission. It's just
it's Japan.
Kojima does what he wants. But as for Snatcher, though, don't let that throw you. The game is one of the best games I've played, especially in this genre, and if you think of it like this, it's pretty much Blade Runner the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's excellent. There are lots of movie references. There's Blade Runner references. There's Terminator references. There's also, even the name Snatcher is a play off of Revenge of the Body Snatchers. So,
Invasion.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. whatever.
That's what they do.
Yeah, there's also some other references to other cyberpunk works, such as Neuromancer by William Gibson, and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was the book that
inspired Blade Runner, which inspired Snatcher.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a seminal cyberpunk classic. It's a noir, neo-noir story, so it's great. It definitely plays out just like any other like private detective. It just has game, but it has a really nice Blade Runner-esque aesthetic.
It's great. I think you're gonna love it. So, ready to start playing?
Yeah!
Let's go crazy.
Love that logo.
It's been so long since I've heard that tune.
It's like, means quality to me. It means
Right?
I'm like playing Sunset Riders or
Sunset Riders.
or Turtles in Time.
Snatcher. Okay, so new game. Continue. We
No, we're gonna
can't
do
really
new
continue. I think we're doing a new game. So, yeah, let's get started.
Let's go crazy.
Oh, I see what you did there.
You saw me talk.
Oh, good. It tells the controls right there.
Okay.
Guess we're good. I forgot about that sound. The story, characters, and events in this game are entirely fictional. Any similarities to actual people, places, and events are entirely coincidental. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. No, they haven't.
In a court of law.
Yeah. Roll in sound space in some parts.
I kind of like that it's kind of in that era where, like, stereo sound was rare.
Yeah.
And
Ooh. The story is dedicated to all those cyberpunks who fight against injustice and corruption every day of their lives.
June 6, 1996. A mysterious explosion destroys the Chernobyl research facility near Moscow. Lucifer Alpha, a powerful biological weapon under secret development there, is released into the atmosphere, creating a deadly biohazard. Carried by the trade winds, Lucifer Alpha spreads throughout Eastern Europe and Eurasia, destroying 80% of the populace. Half of the world's people die. The greatest biohazard in history later becomes known simply as
Resident Evil.
the catastrophe.
Oh, the
But at
catastrophe.
this time, who could have possibly imagined that the ultimate biohazard wouldn't occur for another half-century?
So brutal.
Jeez.
50 years later, mankind faces its greatest crisis. The appearance of a
Hideo
mysterious android life form. Its purpose and origin are unknown. Is it a new form of weapon?
Plane
Or
crash.
perhaps an invasion from
This
some
screen
other
is very
world?
famous because of
They
how
appear to
colorful
invent
it is.
killing humans and infiltrating society by taking the place of their victims. Employing an artificial skin, they can sweat
so cool.
and even bleed. Part organic, part machine. They're almost impossible to distinguish from those they
This
kill.
is essentially the beginning of Blade Runner, the movie.
Yeah, straight up.
As they steal their victims' bodies in order to take their place, these mysterious invaders become known as Snatchers.
What an awesome opening. That is so cool.
Like a James Bondish kind of thing right there, where he
It shoots
shoots
the
the
camera.
screen, yeah.
Damn.
And I love the heavy synth. That's also very Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. That is unbelievable.
Love that.
So it turns out that the words making the game's title were functioning machines. Who knew?
Japan. Dun, 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 dun. Looks more like Florida. I think they're wrong. Kojima should have done better research.
Neo Kobe City, December 2047. Get better research, Kasakas.
I don't know what Japan looks like. I live there. Like us not knowing where New Jersey is on the map.
Right?
Yeah, that's straight up. That's just straight up Blade Runner right there.
This is the cyberest of punks.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet jazz.
And this is very noir. Like having
Alien Sea. By the way, Jeff Lupetin, awesome freaking voice actor apparently. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, you're gonna see him very soon.
Random.
Random's awesome.